Okay, for this one, it's just another test run, but I fixed the Clio Plus problem. It was just because I wasn't using Clio Plus. Believe it or not, yeah, it's that simple. But um, I'm brand new to this pretty much. Uh, the times I did it around 2015, I didn't really pay attention to what I was doing. I didn't take it seriously. I would get like a deep infatuation with playing it, and I'm like, that's how I am with most games. It's really only been WoW, the old war crack that ever really had an effect on me. That well, it takes, like I said in the last video, it takes the social dynamic. Number one, I'm not super disillusioned by the game itself or anything. It's amazing, but that's not really changed. But it's just not like when I was. I don't know what age I was. I guess I was 10 or 11. Yeah, it was later, or like in the middle of middle school, because I used to think it was. I never played RPG games or anything when I was growing up, and I had a sort of a bully. Ingrained attitude. I say ingrained because I don't necessarily want to say influenced, but it was pressed on me from a certain place I'm not going to talk about. But in the whole social environment I was around was very intense. The only time I could ever call anything toxic masculinity, it's pretty intense stuff with the old boys, and pretty quickly I developed my own sort of harshness. And point being is I found a lot of certain types of games too nerdy looking for me or something. I made this friend that lived close to my new place when I was like 10 or 11. When I went over there, he had war crack. Whole family was hooked on it. I mean, literally, it was a family thing. And I laughed at first, maybe just when he talked about it. When I saw it, I mean, my mind was blown. Like, he had an undead warrior with, I guess, probably like, the only thing I remember distinctly was the sword. The sword from the twins from AQ40. He had that motherfucker, and I don't know what kind of gear he had, but probably around there, of course, to be able to get that. And what I was infatuated, what I was asking was like, since he had undead, I didn't know what the races were or anything. I just saw him log into that character, and I was like, he died real quick in STV. I remember this distinctly. I guess I don't know if someone killed him, or I'm sure someone killed him since he's that geared. I don't think an NPC killed him in a place like that. And I was just like, do you lose more of your flesh and gear when you die? Because I thought it was like a human or something. Because I had just been playing Maximo. People know that. It's a great game. I actually played through it a few years ago. I guess about 2 years ago, actually, just for the hell of it. Played a little bit of the second one too, but the first one, I never thought about how the graphics are very similar to WoW's like that. I'll show a screenshot here. I think one of my only screenshots when I was playing. Yeah, very fun stuff. Very good times back then. When I first played WoW myself, like I begged for it pretty much. even though it was like I didn't, I never had heard of a trial plan and all that shit. But I would get it every now and then. My first time, the cards that is to get the time to play. But my first time I had a undead warlock named Cenobite on Terralion server. I immediately made friends that were into black metal and stuff. It was really cool. Even some guys my age from Australia. One of them was named, well, anyone that could know how much I'm into metal, and I always forget how to, especially Immortal. I even still have Sons of Northern Darkness when I bought it around the time it came out. From back then, like right in those times. And I always forget about if it's Blastric or Blashirk. I forget. I always mix up a letter and I don't know how to say it because I think it's a character that one of them just made up. Fits into their whole lore. But yeah, that was that guy's name, the younger brother of the Australian guys. Even added them on MySpace and everything. It was really cool. But yeah, I wasn't wearing the Armstrong bands like I was talking about in the last recording. I was wearing the spikes and stuff. I might show a little picture here, but yeah, I mean, if I do show the picture that I probably just showed, I just want to illustrate, not illustrate, but make a point that, and I am driving around for a reason. I'll explain some things as I go, but it might crash as I speak, so that I'm just testing some places that have had errors, and like it could be, I can't tell if it's from explosions or where I've changed the motor sound to like the Hermes, but it's fine when I drive it, but like you'll see maybe when the NPC's kicking into gear, but I'm not going to provoke that right now. I want to finish what I'm saying first, but I wasn't really that thorny. I might have been spiked up. I may have tried to look like a Cenobite most times, but like my mentality wasn't really like based around bullying and provocation and antisocial behavior. It was just about the music. The bullying stuff that I was talking about that was ingrained in me, it's sort of an impossible situation. I mean, I came out great compared to how most people would have come out from how some things were trying to be pressed on me at a very, very young age, younger than that. I would have an issue with it up until I was about 12 or so. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the same exact person since I'm 13, basically, but almost in a way. Like my principles and everything, like it's been pretty unwavering like that since I've been 13. It just was the brutality and the intensity of back then, and just everything of a cocktail. And metal was the perfect kind of therapeutic reflection of society, and it still is. There's just different out of touch ways. I mean, there's different out of touch things to be. Well, for my taste and how I deal with these things, just to retaliate with. If you hear how I talk about things, you sort of get the picture. But that was a different world back then with what was irritating me. It was more on a personal level and just never really getting a break of some homies, that were loyal and like millennials just gave up everything. No one ever talks about that. Like I have, right when the strange explosion of Facebook, like it just came out when it had been online for years, around 2010. It's fucking bizarre. Like they just, whatever little nostalgia they did latch onto, and the characteristics and stuff that made the 2000s what they were, they gave that all away for swag fag stuff, as I call it. And it is trash. You know, when I say fag, I'm not like, it's not like a intrinsically like focused thing on homosexuals. I hope someone can understand that. I don't know what people understand a lot for many years because of how like you can't say fag on games. I noticed like on these newer games and stuff. Like on DCM, you can't say that in the chat, and you can get banned for certain things. It's kind of stupid. But yeah, it's like the the worst mixtures of like, I mean, the worst components of each stereotype of white geeks and poser blacks, and that's what they exchanged all of this type of stuff like in this game, and all that richness that was in the cartoons, whether it was Courage Cowardly Dog, you know, just all those things. Like, you know, I'd always been sort of questionable. I'd always question sort of how the adults at that time seemed to sort of give away what they grew up with, but not in the same way. I mean, the millennials are just like consumer trash from the get-go, pretty much. But it didn't set in until this weird social media shit and the swag stuff. And I might interject a clip from the only other person I ever heard really speak the same way that I was when this stuff was happening. I was so fucking pissed back then. I mean, because it was so bad. Like, compared to, like, when I was around that age I showed you in 2004 or so, that was nothing I was stressed about in comparison to around 2010. I was going through a lot of health issues, too, but, I mean, I was just, oh, man. I mean, it was because it just was, like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like, a literal thing. Horrific, pitch black stuff all around me and all over the internet, inescapable. And if I can get around to showing you, like I keep meaning to find this NPC. It isn't just a random choice of Bloods and Crips. I chose the mod pack for the Ballers. I did have, experimentally, I did have the Grove Street Gang as Bloods, but why I have them Crips still is, I'll show you if I can find this NPC. Whoever made this mod, I think it was a Brazilian guy, I'm not sure. But yeah, that right there, and I'll show you. So, that was the only time I got into rap, the first time I should say, around 2006 or so, because of this game, and then I looked up Bloods and Crips and stuff, and there was that Bangin' on Wax album. And nobody, speaking of millennials and all the stuff I'm talking about on a local level, nobody was into the stuff that I was into. Like, they're all into G Unit and just trash stuff, you know. And this, like, I don't remember what's all on the soundtrack here. You know, I don't play it right now because I'm just sort of focused on other things and, you know, modding and stuff right now as I play. It's not just because I'm making a recording. Like, I just keep the radio off right now, but it's good. I have to say, like, pretty much all the channels are pretty good, the stations. But yeah, that had no effect on them. If it was NWA, I think it was a Tupac song, like one of his first songs. I Don't Give a Fuck and various things. That had no effect on them really. Like, they just liked the stupid fucking, like, ICP. I don't care if this offends people, like ICP and all that stuff. They didn't care about any of this, but I did. For various reasons, really philosophical reasons, why I got into more of a street mentality and wanted to absorb what just the history and everything. And I got deep into the history, and then just somehow coincidentally that year that I got into Bloods and Crips, researching, we had we had to do an essay or something on it, or a report on it, like just gangs in general. I learned about pretty much the whole history of American gangs within, well, a very short time. So it was within that year of 2006 or 7. But I never was opposed or anything. But that's just what that was. And Red Rum 781, that's the last part I was going to get to. He made the comment in 2011, I think it was, saying the same thing that I'm saying and I was saying, but from his perspective of being in a war zone over there. And is he from Inglewood or whatever? I forget. But yeah. As much as I might drop the N-bomb and all this, and you might think, no, I've been around stuff. I'm not, but the thing is that I just don't like so-called modern people in general. Just all this high-minded stuff.
Excuse me.
Before the George Floyd thing, pretty much like right before 2020 or so, I would keep up with all those protests and stuff. Happen every fucking day practically. Like those stupid fucking Q cultists that say like that was a golden era. That's the reason why they re-elected him, is because it was like a golden era back. Fucking stupid, man. I mean, of course they had at the time you could almost say rightfully so, provoked irritation and aggression with the woke people and stuff that did those protests and stuff. But anyway, I just want to get to what I saw and what I knew from my own experiences. I'm not going to talk about my own experiences, but I think you can hear what I'm saying. You're not one of these types of idiots. And I'll just give this one example. This may have been 2017 or something. It's probably still online. I archived quite a few things back then. I could post them on this channel. I used to archive a lot of stuff. Because that was a very weird fucking time to see that every day and stuff. Shit. The things that have just, like, the clip I played from Duncan and Friends at the end of the last video, with that guy talking about inviting random black guys over to breed him, as he says, quote unquote, and they can live literally rent. It's making me tongue-tied because it's so absurd. To say the least, live rent-free there just to breed him. And that's not the only time you can hear that from Duncan and Friends, compiling soundboards from those guys he finds on those hotlines. And yeah, it is bad to listen to. It's not, unless you're one of the, well, unless you just have a different kind of stomach and whatever. I'm desensitized to it to an extent now, but I mean, that was really fucking, it's not my type of prank calls. I like Mr. Blonde and the Old Boys. And Duncan and Friends, one of the Old Boys, but I mean, it's just the thing about society, and I sort of forgot why I mentioned that again, but that much out of touch stuff. All I'm trying to say, I think mainly is, of course, no one can recognize, if they could recognize what I'm saying, and like this example I'm about to give, this stuff wouldn't be happening. But they don't have self-awareness. They rejected that to imitate like these fucked up, made up characteristics from fake actor type people online. Crocodile tear people, fake reactions. That's all they know. They exchanged glorious art and culture and subcultures that took maybe hundreds of years, maybe, it could just, it doesn't matter how long it took. Just incredible, inspiring things that are supposed to be immortal, no matter what. Those types of words and impressions left in history are supposed to be immortalized for a bunch of influencer slop. And around 2017, one of those stupid Black Lives Matter protests with mostly white Antifa. I'm gonna do something for fun real quick. If I can find her again. Oh, she disappeared. Yeah, I have two Android 18s, if you notice. No, we're not gonna do one thing you might think, but I don't know if they'll talk to you while you have a wanted level. Let me fix it real quick. But they were in, I don't know if they were in the hood, but they were in a place where,
Stay off the crack, man.
I guess there are Bloods or, I know, I mean, this is how traditional I am. Back in the day, you wouldn't call someone from the East Coast Blood unless they had connections to actual LA people. It doesn't make any sense. Just make your own gang and do your own thing. Why do you have to, Anyway, I forget what might be an alternative version to call them, but the 5-star type guys. That was like a heresy back then, for the most part. I think there's something more on the east side, is what I'm trying to think. I mean, is how I think it's coming into my memory clearly. They confronted them, these gang members. They didn't really care to hide they're in a gang. They're older guys. They'd be in their 40s now, but they're probably like in their late 30s right then. What you would call OGs, like on this game. People that out of touch with gang stuff don't know the terminology. Original gangster, the older gangsters. And they said, we don't want any part of this, and you guys are not really helping us. Just fundamental, simple, basic, common sense things that no one seems to understand. And that's what they said to them. And they were a little aggressive, but not too much. I think they're mostly laughing, like, wow, just keep going, I guess. But we don't care about what you're doing. It just was very relatable in that way. So when I drop the M-bomb, I don't care to make a real distinction about it. If you notice, I'm making one right now in a way, but that's past tense mostly, because you shouldn't have a direct offense if it doesn't apply to you. Just like when I hear somebody say that, am I not a little bit chocolate looking myself? If it's not being said to me, like just like if bitch or anything derogatory is not being said to me, that's none of my business. And I have to know the context. I have to know, it's not the same like it may have been for me when I was younger, because like I dealt with Bible Belt, literal KKK in my high school. I mean, literal. Zeke Heil type dude, like the stuff that people act like they don't know what that looks like when stupid Muskrat did that and everything. I saw that in my freshman year every fucking day. Anyway, and the thing that I didn't have a taste of, like I knew they didn't have a taste of, was something like this environment, where it is predominantly black, or there's a lot of blacks. If someone learns hate from being fucked with, that's different. Okay, those guys never fucked with me. I'm not really going to get into all the stories, but they didn't fuck with me because I didn't carry myself that way. They fucked with Wiggers and some other people. But anyway, they were pretty aggressive guys. It wasn't just some like dumb shit you see today with like Fuentes faggot fanboys. I mean, these were like real old school KKK. Like, I mean, rough fucking stuff. And that's why if anyone's ever heard my video from a more serious channel about the God pulled the plug, when I say like if that 2020 Black Lives Matter stuff happened back then, you guys would be fucking killed. I mean, like people would kill you. I mean, like just like that. I mean, it'd be just an immense amount of bloodshed on a bunch of sides, but for the most part, 2004, if that happened, just out of the blue with a bunch of weirdos saying nothing like that, pumping their chest and tearing down everything they can and stores you need to go to and all these things. I bet you Bloods and Crips and the various things would be attacking them. But yes, I know. Speak of the devil, Watts riots, all these riots have been just as sort of equally disgusting. It's been a bad thing, and that's where I lacked a little bit of judgment when I would get defensive only on the basis of I didn't understand where those rednecks would come from sometimes being like that, because it's like, I know you don't know black people, but I don't either. So, you know, that's where I didn't catch myself, because that's not me either. Black like that is a hive-minded type of thing, man. I mean, it is. It's a ceiling bird chirping, and like deaf to the ceiling bird chirping, saying the same old demonic shit for years and years now, man. That's what.
Record people.
That's what, you know. That's different. But yeah, it's become such a
I'm not trying to
blanket
ballet
thing.
this.
Just like with a bunch of stereotypes with whites now, like there's so many blanket things. It's hard for me to try to propagate, even just for myself, to distance myself from blanket assertions, because that couldn't apply to anyone that I give a fuck about. Anyone that I give a fuck about would understand like where I'm coming from. So I don't care to adjust myself. Like, dude, I don't care how gross it sounds. Go to Duncan and Friends Rumble, because you know they keep taking down this YouTube for dumb reasons, hypocritical reasons. Go through any of those live streams, and you tell me that you can't tell, like, you don't have at least one of those,
You
probably
asshole, my
child predator, scat fetish freaks in your neighborhood. Just like I have to show this to Alex Rosen again if I'm going to mention him in a decent light. Not him, but just the principle of his videos and how many people he catches. Even people that watch his videos. You can deduce, even though he's a hypocrite like I'm showing him, you can still deduce, and he might be into that himself and stuff. I'm just gonna say it, if you don't understand that already. You can deduce that like one in every American neighborhood practically, at least, has one of those types of people. Okay, I mean, it is absolutely insane. And you know, what could come next? I'm not going to get into that. I mean, there's no boundaries already, so I don't have to even say what I could there. I've heard him, and Duncan and Friends knows. You know, I don't know why he doesn't make comments. He might have a Discord where he might sort of make comments about it. But, like, I'm gonna just comment on what he's got in touch with. I shouldn't say it like this, but through one of those chat lines from random people with soundboards, he got a reaction out of. Found a serial killer. So I mean, you could tell he's real deal. A Mexican guy talking about killing people, and he was really wanting to hook up to kill somebody. I guess again or whatever. Like every one of the videos you'll hear now, you'll get a prompt when he calls into those gay hotlines. He'll say, if someone says something really, out of line, which would be something like I'm about to say here, you can report them. Almost every video recently. Pretty sure it's the last one too. You just go look, as I'll probably upload this soon enough. Talking about exchanging their kids or looking for, man, yep. This might crash the game. Let's see. Is this one I can't tell? Yeah, it has to be. Right? I can't remember all these bikes. I've only edited 2 other than the car. It's quite a monologue, huh? Okay, so I'm gonna shift gears on what I'm talking about. Let's talk about this. I forgot it was only Saints Row that drops money. We can try, but I don't think it drops any money. The last one I blew up didn't drop any money, so I guess I mixed it up with Saints Row. It's been a long time. It drives pretty fast, surprisingly. Yeah, let's test burning then. No money. I had a really big problem with whatever that car is called right there that I changed to a pizza car because, yeah, like, I just had so many problems with that. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna use a simple mod. This little, let's make it a pizza car instead. But that stuff was minuscule. I even learned a lot earlier today. Like, maybe I won't be able to implement. Of course, I know for sure if I start from scratch, at least, I mean at the most, I'll be able to put my own cars in like I've wanted to, and various other things. But that's where I don't want to press my buttons. It's things like that I get demoralized and I don't want to play anymore. So I don't want to do that. I have a few technical things in mind that I'm going to have to make myself. And I'm sure it probably will be sort of easy. And that's how I want to do this little Claude campaign recordings. Alright, let's actually do something instead of just drive around and look for bugs. The thing that I learned today was, I shouldn't really say it's like I was oblivious to I wasn't just mindlessly looking at, hang on, I'm gonna see if this works again. Is that supposed to be like that? Like you can pick up the same ammo for the Uzi from the Tech-9? I'm running with it anyway.
I'll see you again?
I forget what the abbreviation is called, but the improved vehicle stuff. I forget the last words of it, but it's basically improvising on various things with lights and movements of the car and stuff. I would get these mods with seemingly optional files like that wasn't as optional as I thought, really, because that's what's been bugging some of the cars. Not many that I've used without implementing those with that add-on, that mod that can actually make use of those files. But I got that earlier today, so I haven't fixed all the ones that I've. Yeah, you see, I've done a lot of cars within just a week, and so it's kind of a blur for me. I have to go through all those cars, see which one. Now I've backed them up. I've done my diligence on making sure that if I fuck up, I can go back easily. So
Your barber must be using new hours, man. She is big homie.
I forgot about messing with the Android 18 hooker, but we're gonna do this real quick. But one of the cars I have working now with the improved features has the turn signals. But it's goofy as fuck because maybe there's some button I can press to roleplay it, but it just, I don't know if it was from, it was a car that I stole on here, and I don't know if it was already doing that, or when I made a turn, but it just stayed on the left turn signal. So I didn't really like that. The retractable light stuff is cool, and whatever else it does is probably cool, but I don't care for the fake role-playing turn signals. Can you shoot the tank? I was trying not to shoot near those cops, it gets so annoying.
Did a drive over.
No. Well, it's almost like a Mandela effect for me. It's something you might see here from Vigilante. And I've done this like fucking 10 times now because this is where the bug comes in for today. After I put that Clio Plus mod in, as I was saying like 30 minutes ago, I don't know if it's from the explosions or there's like when I'm chasing all these cars with a new motor, it crashes the game. But it's been, if I had recorded all those times, you would think I'm cursed not to complete the Vigilante missions. I mean, because that's what it looks like. Like someone has hexed the Vigilante missions. I mean, it's really bizarre. It's not limited to what I just said. It's like weird luck on it, bad luck, strange fucking things. I'm really enjoying this one that I got fixed with the Clio Plus, the drive-by mod. I guess that's the warning that I was getting for the NPC shooting thing, because I didn't quite understand that. It's about to crash for some reason. See, this one's tricky because all these other times it's usually been the cars I've fucked up with experimenting. Like almost 80% of these cars I've messed with are not meant for the original idea. That glitch too is fucking me up because like sometimes a car, it seems, counts as the last kill, and you can blow it up and everything, and it'll disappear, and you'll just be stuck on whatever level you're on, and you can't complete it. I've had them. What I wanted. It's too bad I wasn't recording earlier today. Last time I was playing, they were stuck on under the freeway, like under the. I just have to show you exactly. It's at the airport. It's fucking bullshit.
Raise up, CJ.
No fucking way.
Get us out of here, CJ.
I thought my bike was just fucked right there. Another problem is having one of the gang members help you out. I've decided the bike is the best with this. Got tongue tied there, but with just one for help, or even if I am in a car, just one really, because they can get so trigger happy when a cop car is near you, especially. Just blow you up every time. At the worst time. I'll be at fucking level 12 on this, which is the last level. Sort of like, when I was ranked 12 or whatever on Turtle Wow, and they fucking banned me for wrong thing. I mean, that's exactly what happened. I fucking cannot stand people. Talk about cursing somebody. Oh, if they know who I am now. Anyway, I won't talk creepy on this channel. I can't express how much I can't fucking stand it. I mean, that's literal. Like, that was so much time put into that character and stuff. I did nobody wrong. All I did was, like, after Muskrat took over Twitter, and I didn't know what was going to become of that at that time. I had no defense around that. That's not a dog in my fight. I don't get into things like that. No matter what she might think of how I talk, I don't get tribal. I know who's who, and I know who to trust and all that. Not some shit like that. Anyway, that's when that paradigm shit was on the horizon from how woke things were, Twitter is the thing to change if you're going to do that. Well, let's see if this fucks up again right here. They got out.
Real cool.
Well, it must have been very much provoked from that, and you see exactly what I said in those old videos. And they had their finger on the trigger to block me when I said, why the fuck would you block? I mean, I did come with malice in the forum, but it's still, like, they're so power tripping on there. It's disgusting. Never seen anything like that shit. I mean, that might just be the norm in a lot of places, but just right before then I played some private servers and stuff. I'd never seen such fucking stupid power tripping moderators just up the ass of the world chat and stuff. And then they still promote the underground. They made this I can't remember the channel name, but like, let's say channel 4 is global and all that. Maybe 5 was this underground channel for, like, right wingers or something like that. So you could talk everything you wanted to, drop the M-bomb in there and all that, but yeah, and it's funny, it started with some motherfucker calling me anti-Semitic or something. I didn't say, like, you can see what the fuck I said on there. And yes, I will admit that, well, I don't know my full family tree, especially on my dad's side. His surname being Source, that could be Germanic, Dutch, or Yiddish. So that's why I did pull the Jew card myself when I got banned, because that's where it started from. I didn't say anything, not even a little bit. I wasn't making any little jokes. What they banned me for was on the principle of arguing with them, and they took sides. And then I said to that guy, why do you want like this kindergarten experience with moderators like dictating like everything like that? Like just out of touch, weird fucking power tripping, dictating of what you say in the weirdest way possible.
Get us out of here, CJ.
Then I got banned just like that. Went to the forum, made some very key points. I actually don't have a daughter, I admit that now. But those guys did talk pedophilic, I have it documented. One thing I did mistake, but it still didn't make sense. The moderator was right there in chat, like they always were, pretty much. Wow, these guys say the strangest fucking things, just like on those prank calls, on all those gay hotlines like I just mentioned. And they don't care about nothing like that. But I made sort of a blanket comment about the social environment on there. I have to say, like I probably said before, the guild was great. Speaking of Russian, there was a Russian girl on there, which was very nice. Very nice to me in particular. We started doing some good farming together and stuff. I shouldn't say I'd never done it. It's been a very, very long time since I did that, and it's hard to find dedicated people for certain things like that. And that was a good friend I had made, like, right then before I got banned. But, yeah, the best guild I'd ever been in. I may have not talked a lot, but I had nothing against them. They're very professional, so. I even met some people on Azeroth at War. Even one of the creators that was in the guild with me, I didn't notice that. I recognized Zoo a little bit after I started to think about it, but I didn't play with him much. I think he's sort of retired by that time. Okay, so you witnessed the glitch. I assume that glitch is probably from, and there the game goes.
What's going on, my Subaru Nation? Series of events that happened, transpired. We're going to shed some limelight on some negative limelight on the homies. I mean, it's a lot that I can't say, but I don't have that much time. Homies need to like go back to the original shit. Homies ain't acting like homies no more. Homies in California not acting like homies no more. A lot of the bullshit that's happening, a lot of shit comes from home, comes from here. It's just a lot of other states emulate us. They do what we do. The homies back right here in California, in LA, Bompton, Inglewood, Watts. Powers and the Bloods is beefing. It ain't no separation, everybody the same shit. Despite what you may think, despite your personal feelings don't run the gang, homies. If you got a problem with a blood nigga, you from Paru, that's like your brother, my nigga. That is your brother. The Bloods and the Parus are going through the Cain and Abel syndrome right now. They have the red on burgundy beef and red on red beef, and the burgundy on burgundy beef, all that shit need to stop. We know that, that we came from the Black Panthers. We the sons of them. Black Panthers were a political party for the black people. Till the government fucked us up. Then the baby cribs was turned to the Crips, picked it up. And then they start tripping on communities and doing the wrong shit. Next thing you know, the Bloods was formed, the Pyrus, the Brims. All of that shit came after that, in recession. It was, family shit, family orientated. Prime example. I guarantee you that each one, everybody's listening to this has a family member was from the other side. If that's true, then Bloods and Crips don't need to be beaten. Because when we was little coming up, we can go to our grandma's house and our cousins be over there from wherever they from. If I come to your grandma's house, I'm not starting no beef with you or none of that shit. There's rules and regulations to it. To this whole gangbang thing. That's why it's consequences and repercussions. Y'all say, oh, the protocol ain't there no more? If the protocol ain't there no more, why do shit happen when people do fucked up shit to other homies? Because it's a protocol that we go by. You're not supposed to do certain shit. And for some reason, swag is like trying to overtake the gangsterism. Real gangsters don't get overtaken like that. You a gangster, nigga, you a gangster. All that swag shit is for the non-gangsters. Because that swag shit cuts your gangsterism. That cuts into your gangsterism. So if you want to make your gangsterism not 100%, keep talking that swag shit. Keep trying to have swag and gangsterism. That's gonna make you do fucked up shit. When you do fucked up shit, that make the hood look bad. Make the hood look bad. The homies gonna do something to you. Because you're doing shit on your impulse. Not for the namesake of the hood. No, you're doing it for your namesake. So that you can have a reputation in the hood. But if you fuck up and do some shit to fuck up the hood gonna fuck you up. Blood, Crip, SA, Taru, Brim, Black Keystone, it don't matter. It's rules and regulations, y'all. Gotta go back to it. And I'm gonna push that line for the Sioux Whoops to get back on course because homies is falling off. And it's not enough big homies that's standing up saying some shit. Yeah, niggas my generation. Y'all understand this. When we was younger, our OGs was our age now. I'm 39 years old, homies. That means I'm a G. But I call myself OYG. If I'm a G now, that means that the motherfuckers underneath me is gonna be running the hood when my time is up. I don't want my kids to run under these ignorant ass little homies that we got right now because they fucking it up. All my niggas that's in my generation and all the homies in my generation that got kids, the little homies running around right now fucking up the hood, them the ones that your kids gonna be looking up to. Them the ones my kids gonna be looking up to. Nah, man. Nah, that ain't the business, my niggas. Make a stand for your kids, my nigga. Make a stand for your dead homies. For your OGs, for your uncles, nigga, for your dads, for your aunties, and all that shit that pushed the line before us. If they was here, a lot of shit wouldn't be happening. If a lot of the big homies stepped up my age and pressed the line on some of the little homies, a lot of this shit would stop. Y'all think about that.